What's up, YouTube? This is Guerrero here with Light Bright. Today, we're talking about the top 10 free agents and free agency since the free agency opens up on Wednesday, March 13th. And the top 10 we're going off of Kevin Seifert's top 10. So there could be other lists out there with different names, but that's who we're going with today. So let's start with the first two names on his list, which is Le'Veon Bell and Nick Foles. We already know of which Nick Foles is pretty much signed to the Jags. I mean, that's pretty much a guarantee at this point. But
Yeah.
let's go back to Le'Veon Bell. He's number one. Who you think, like, Bright? Who do you think's gonna take Le'Veon Bell?
All right. So this was kind of like a tough one for me, just because like Le'Veon Bell is like one of the biggest names out in free agency right now, and like in my mind, like again, this is just like all opinion based on where I feel best fits would be. But I have three different teams for him, and one of the teams being the Indianapolis Colts, just because of I mean they had arguably the best offensive line last year. So I think Le'Veon Bell behind that would be tremendous. The second team I think he could possibly go to is the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, we all know last year watching Lamar play, they like to run and, do a little bit of the option and different stuff with throwing to their running back. So I think that'd be a really nice fit. Another one I think would also be a nice fit is the Houston Texans. I think the Houston Texans could definitely use a running back like Le'Veon Bell. I think it would tremendously help Deshaun Watson out just a little bit better, and so he wouldn't have so much pressure. But yeah, those are my three teams I think that Bell would fit with.
Who do you think's more likely?
More likely, honestly, I feel like the more likely one would maybe be the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore. Okay, fair enough. So for mine with Le'Veon, so I got three teams too. I actually, I know there's a lot of rumors that the Chiefs and him were talking, but I don't know how likely that'll be because there's some other needs we need to work out before that. But so I got three teams as well. I got the Ravens because the Ravens have a tendency of signing former Pittsburgh players a lot. I don't know what it is, rivalry or what, but they also need a running back. And then I got the Texans as well because Miller isn't the same guy that he was like he was a
Yeah.
couple years ago. So I think they need to replace him. But then I also got the Bills.
Mm,
Because I can't remember. They still have LaShawn McCoy, right?
yeah, but
But
LeSean McCoy's like what, 30 now?
yeah, he's old. And another reason why I'm saying the Bills is because LaShawn McCoy is old. But I mean, out of those three teams, the Bills are like number three with cap space, with over with over like $79 million in cap space. So I mean, they can afford to pay Le'Veon a big contract and maybe still have a little wiggle room to get some other guys. Whereas the
Mm,
Ravens and Texans, they have other needs that they got to fix too, especially like kind of like on the defensive side of their
yeah.
teams, and they don't really have a lot of cap space. But so I think if it came down to it, I feel like Le'Veon, he's gonna want to go to a team that A can afford him, and B are like championship contenders. That he wants to go to a team that has a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. So unfortunately, I think the Bills, even though they can afford them, I don't think they're contenders for the
Yeah,
playoffs
not
this
by
year.
any means. Yeah, no.
Um,
They have ways to go.
the Ravens, I think the Ravens are gonna end up. I mean, I know they went to the playoffs last year, but I feel like feel like they're gonna go through a building period to kind of really build around Lamar Jackson and his play style.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think the Texans are his best bet. I mean, they went to the playoffs the last past 2 3 years.
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
row. So I mean, I think he'll be that key factor to kind of really give him that push through. Even though, and I think it'll help Deshaun Watson out from getting sacked so much. So
yeah.
I'd have to go with the Texans is my best bet on that team.
Okay.
So then we're gonna come down to the next two, 3 and 4 on Kevin's list, which is Teddy Bridgewater and Trent Brown. So Teddy Bridgewater, let's start with him. QB, he's the second and final QB on Kevin's list here. You know, where do you think he's gonna end up going?
I mean, so really, I only have about two options for Teddy Bridgewater. One of those options being where he's already at. With New Orleans. I think that New Orleans is gonna retain him just because of the fact of like there's not really a whole lot of free agent quarterbacks that are solid backups, and especially where they don't have a first round draft pick this year because they gave it up last year for Marcus Davenport. I mean, it would be a bad move to let him go. I think that they would retain him just because. And I mean, yeah, they still have Drew Brees, but let's be honest, Drew Brees is getting old, but he can still play. Don't get me wrong, man can still play, but his years are numbered. He maybe has a couple of good years left in him if he feels. But the second team, if he doesn't re-sign with the Saints, I think the New York Giants would be would be a move for him, considering that at this time, like Giants have pretty much said like the Eli Manning's over. It's time to move on and move forward. Of course, everybody's speculating the Giants are gonna snag a quarterback with their first round pick, but of course, a lot of teams don't want to just throw their young guy out there. So I think Teddy Bridgewater would be a good, nice little fit to just play the season, let the rookie sit behind him, and just kind of learn his way, and then when the Giants feel comfortable as an organization to start him,
Yeah.
start him.
Okay, I see that. See, in my case, with the Saints, I don't see the Saints keeping him. I don't. I don't know why. They might, but I don't. And then, you know,
The only thing I say why they keep him is because, like I said, Drew Brees is getting old. I mean, he's like 38, 39, right?
yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, I mean, he's up there in age, man, and I mean, especially now with all these young defensive cats that are coming out that are stronger and quick. I mean, yeah, Drew Brees is the man, but man, the way these kids are hitting and coming at you, his body's not like it used to. I mean, he can take some hits and take some shots, and who knows.
That's
I just think that keeping Teddy Bridgewater is more of a security blanket just in case if things are to go wrong.
true, true. But I don't know. I think honestly because I could see I could see the Jags picking him up to back up Nick Foles and getting rid of Blake Bortles because Blake Bortles is probably you know more expensive in their case than to take on
Yeah,
Nick Foles too. I can see the Jags taking him as a backup for Nick Foles and them releasing Blake Bortles, and I can see the Saints picking Blake Bortles up, vice versa. But like I see that, or the team I think he's more likely to go if he hits free agency is not the Giants, but the Dolphins. The Dolphins have come out and said that the Tannehill era is done.
yeah,
So they're done
yeah.
with Ryan Tannehill. So they're gonna need a QB. The only thing with Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know why Kevin has him up so high. Because I mean, when he's healthy, he's great, but he's been suffering injuries a lot lately since when he first started with Minnesota. So I mean, I don't
Right,
know.
but I mean, I see why he put him out there because I mean, right now, if you really look at it free agency wise, there isn't a lot of top name quarterback free agents out there right now. I mean, if you were just looking for somebody to at least get you through one season, and not who's not your franchise guy, I would take Teddy Bridgewater just for a season.
It
You know
makes
what I'm
sense.
saying?
Makes sense.
He's more of a one season guy right now, just with, like you said, all the injuries. I mean, he can still give you production, but he's definitely not franchise where he's
Yeah.
at right now.
Yeah. True. So okay, guys. So the next guy is Trent Brown, who was released by New England, offensive tackle. So I kind of want to take this one up right away because you kind of hit on the team I was thinking that could take him because he is a good offensive lineman. I know he's up there in age, but you kind of hit on this with Drew Brees and all these young defensive guys coming out. So I can see the
Mhm.
Saints picking him up
Ooh,
because to help out
I
that
didn't
line
even
and
think
help
about that one.
to help out the line and help out protect Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I could see them going. I could see them going kind of all out because they got a late pick.
Mhm.
They have a second round pick because they don't have a first round this year.
No, they traded it
So
for
they
Davenport.
so they got a second. So I mean, they're not going to get very good offensive linemen, and
Mhm.
and even their second round pick is a late second round. I mean, because they went so far in the playoffs.
Right.
So I can see them going a little more heavy with Brown here, just so they can protect Drew Brees, help protect him. So honestly, that I don't really have. I know there's other teams that could use him, like Denver or whatnot, but I feel like Sean Payton will go a little more over and beyond for Trent Brown to protect Drew Brees with all these defensive players coming up. You
Yeah.
know, so that I don't have multiple teams for Trent Brown. I'm just gonna go with the Saints. That's who I think.
Okay. So on my side, I actually have, and like I said, I didn't even think about the Saints, and what you brought up was a good point. But I have two different teams. One of the teams actually being the Jacksonville Jaguars, just like we just said previously, with them acquiring Nick Foles. That's kind of like we're trying to win now type of situation, and we all know that offensive line definitely needs some help and some work. So I think Brown would be a good move for them to at least help and solidify that left tackle position. Another team that I thought about just because of the young gun that they have and they are trying to, build around is Josh Allen with Buffalo Bills. I think that's a move. Like you said, they have a lot of cap space. It would make sense, to at least help and protect the young guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. Well, guys, so our next two guys here is the first of three safeties, and then another defensive player as well, an edge rusher in this case. We got Landon Collins and Trey Flowers. So with Landon Collins, so there's a lot of teams that are kind of looking for safeties at this moment. I know the Colts are one, the Raiders, the um Packers are looking. I know Seattle's thinking about needs another one, but mainly with Landon Collins, I kind of want to just go with the Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs, that's their, that's gonna be their all for nothing guy. Because last year our all for nothing guy was Sammy Watkins. We put a lot of money into Sammy Watkins, and I
Mhm.
feel almost every team has that one player in free agency that they put majority of their money cap space into
Mhm.
to guarantee. And I think the Chiefs need Landon Collins more in the perspective because of Eric Berry.
Right.
When Eric Berry's healthy, he's great, but here lately, he didn't play. He didn't play at all during the regular season, except for like 2 or 3 games, and even then they were limited time playing. Only played like a
Mhm.
half, and you could tell that the rust is there. And then there's no guarantee he's going to be coming back this coming up season. I mean, there's already talk about possibly trading him or cutting him because of
Mhm.
it's just he's costing us a lot of money and he's not playing. And I think we need another safety because our defense was horrible and that's what held us back this year. And I think Landon Collins will help with that help with our secondary a lot. And if Eric Berry's healthy, then it would be a great 1-2 punch for safeties in the backfield there.
Right.
So that would be my first take is the Chiefs, and my most likely team that he Landon Collins will land with. The other team I can think of that again because they have the money to throw out there would be the Colts. That would be my teams, but I mainly think it'd be the Chiefs who take them.
Wow, that's quite funny because I actually do have Landon Collins. I have three teams possibly for him. One being which of the Kansas City Chiefs, like you said. I really do believe, like you said, all the points. I agree with you on that. So, and the Colts also. Now, the funny thing is, though, is that with Indianapolis Colts going with Landon Collins, it is a quite good fit for them because I mean they haven't really had a explosive, secondary like that in a long time. And I mean, in the 2015 NFL draft, they had a chance to draft Landon Collins, and they passed up with him on the 29th pick and selected Philip Dorsett, the wide
Yeah,
receiver. I mean, so why not, at this point, right or wrong, and fix that and bring him in. And the other team that I also thought about too that would make sense for them is Washington. I mean,
oh, that's a
like
good
I
one.
said before, I mean, if Washington's able to somehow retain Haha Clinton Dix and bring in Landon Collins, that's two Alabama boys right there. I mean, that's quite a scary secondary.
Yeah,
I mean, that would honestly probably be it. I mean, don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I think that if that was able to happen, that would be better than Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor.
yeah, no doubt. Well, all right, YouTube. So we did the top five in this video. We're gonna come back and do the bottom five of Trey Flowers, Kwan Alexander, Earl Thomas, Tyrann Mathieu, and Terrell Williams. I feel like those two safeties at the bottom there, they're gonna take a little more time to talk about. So we'll come back with another video of the 6 through 10. All right, we're out of here for this one, guys.